Welcome back to Get Healthy, Sexy, Happy. We're here with Dr. Stephanie Daniel, hormone specialist at intuitivewomenswellness.com. And the topic today is anxiety and depression, something near and dear to many of us. So a lot of us know the things that are typically used to treat anxiety and depression, largely antidepressants, which fall into one of a couple categories, the most common being the Prozacs and the Zolofts and the Celexes of the world. Those are called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs. And one thing that you may not know is that the clinical trials that are used to approve certain drugs in depression drugs or in anxiety depression drugs or antidepressants, the margin of benefit is oftentimes just 1 or 2 percentages higher than placebo. And yet they get approved, and I would say 80% of prescriptions for antidepressants are not even prescribed by a psychiatrist, and they're being used not just for mild mood imbalances, but for everything from PMS to insomnia and stress. So what is this thing about serotonin, and why are we needing help with it? So serotonin is one of the neurotransmitters that is on the depression-anxiety axis. It's a neurochemical that we make in our guts, not in our brains. 95% of serotonin is made in your GI system.
Our second brain.
Our second brain, or rather our first brain before we developed a neocortex and a brain. In order to make serotonin, we have to have the building blocks for it. That starts with protein, and in protein we have amino acids like L-tryptophan, which is the precursor to serotonin. And L-tryptophan we eat in our protein if we're getting enough, and then it converts in the liver to something called 5-HTP, or 5-hydroxytryptophan, and that converts directly to serotonin with the help of a cofactor. And cofactor is called methylfolate. And the issue for a lot of people happens to be that our ability to make methylfolate is dependent on our genetics, partially dependent on our genetics. And so in order to make methylfolate, we have to eat folic acid from our diet and convert it into methylfolate by activating it. And that process requires an enzyme. The enzyme is called MTHFR. And 60% of the population has at least one mutation on the gene that codes for that enzyme, rendering the ability for the enzyme to make methylfolate anywhere from 30 to 70% less effective or efficient. With less methylfolate, you end up with less serotonin, and sometimes also not enough melatonin, which helps us to sleep, because serotonin is the precursor to melatonin as well. So you'll see a lot of sleep disruption in people who are complaining of anxiety or depression type symptoms. See you really soon feeling healthier, sexier, and happier.